What do I love most about Dad?
Well, I love most that Dad is my dad.
The thing I love most about Dad is the fact that he has the innate ability to make all of us children feel like we are his favorite.
I always felt like Dad was one of my biggest fans in life.
I think what makes him such a good father is the fact that he goes out of his way to make a friendship with all of his children.
The single most thing, I think, is how much he invested in us.
What makes Dad such a good father? I would say, obviously, I think it's because he has such a tight connection with the Heavenly Father.
Willingness to shape us and mold us as kids. I remember many of the life lessons that he taught me through situational things, not just through his words, but through his actions.
He gave spiritual leadership in our house when we were young. He influenced our lives in a Christ-like way. He not only talked about his faith, but he lived out his faith at home and also in public. And that, of course, has just left an awesome impact on me personally. And he was an awesome example of what a father should be.
So the fact that Dad was constantly there is definitely what makes him such a good father.
For me anyway, has always had sort of a calm protectiveness about him that no matter where we are together, no matter what we're doing, I kind of always feel safe when I'm with him, and whether there's coyotes tracking us or whatever it is, I feel safe if he's there, and I think that's what makes him such a great father.
Some of my favorite memories about Dad involve stuff we do together and still used to do and still do. Of course, these days it involves geocaching a lot, but that's not all.
From the time that I was a small child, I've always just enjoyed spending time with Dad. As far as the memories that I'll always treasure will always be Sunday mornings, going to pick up donuts with him and just having that time together, and also as I've continued to grow up, just our dates that we've gone on, and then geocaching adventures, of course.
And one of my favorite memories was going to the Gauley River with him and Fred, and going going rafting, wearing the wetsuits and stuff. I like the fishing trips as well, but the rafting trips were a lot more fun.
Date nights, the time that he took me on a date and left his wallet at home, the camping trips, all the vacations. Dad's on the road again. Oh my gosh, on the road again. His cooking, all the food that he likes to try. Everything we do has food involved in it, and it's probably some of my favorite memories with Dad.
I always remember the what we called special Saturdays when we were younger. We would do things. We would go fishing sometimes. Sometimes we would go to the airport. Of course, this was pre-9/11. We would go to the airport and go all the way back and watch the planes come in. I remember one time we got to actually go in the plane, and that was cool.
Some of my favorite memories of Dad too include the last 5.5 years and some of the times he's come to Istanbul to visit. One of my favorite visits was when we went down to southern Turkey, and we went and found the Didim and Bafa Lake, the place that Mom calls the most beautiful place in the world. But I really enjoyed doing that with Dad, and going there with him and seeing that place, and enjoying the sunset and finding the geocache and enjoying the little restaurant there and just seeing all the nature there, and that was a fun time.
Get older and got to be adults and stuff. Just the time we get to spend together, whether it's fishing or, you know, back in college and in high school, whitewater rafting together. Just the time we get to spend together is always good.
I don't know that there's anything really silly we endure about Dad. He's always so serious and fun. Well, never mind.
Things I put up with Dad about his lack of sensitivity. But I love you, and you've gotten a lot better about that. Or maybe I've just grown up a little bit.
Maybe falling asleep at parties all the time.
Falling asleep whenever he sits down for more than 5 minutes at a time.
Snooping through my stuff. Why did you always snoop through my stuff? Setting up video cameras to try to catch me doing things. That is easily the things that I put up with you the most, is going through my stuff all the dang time.
Walking in a grocery store with him, and all of a sudden he walks off and I am left with a foul presence.
I don't think there's anything that I have to endure about Dad, but I do appreciate his sense of humor and his some of his silliness.
What do I love most about Dad? Well, I mean, I love everything about Dad and Mom both. Now, I think that he has always demonstrated that love that he has for his children. Just through the time that he always spent with us, he acted like, whether he did or not, he acted like when we were young he enjoyed being around us, and acted like he enjoyed just having a relationship with him.
Constantly encouraging me, telling me how great of a job I was doing. He would stay up working on algebra homework. Like, I genuinely felt like wanted us to be our best at everything that we did, and would sacrifice all of his time, all of his watching sports on TV, to make us feel special and to make us feel like he was involved in what we were involved in.
I love you, Dad.
I love you, Dad.
I love you, Dad.
I love you, Dad.